Autosport 2024, it's been a busy couple of days, and I have to say a huge welcome back to the British Touring Car Championship to Chris Smiley. Chris, great to see you here. I'm sure lots of people have been following you in your TCR and what you've achieved there, but now back in the BTCC.
Yeah, we're back to where, I'm not saying where we belong, but where we've spent quite a lot of time. We've done a half season and 6 full seasons, so I think we've done 170 races in the BTCC, so yeah, we haven't won enough. We've only won one race, but we've had quite a few podiums. We've started in the front row a few times. So yeah, it sort of feels like we're back to finish off a little bit of unfinished business. I sort of felt 2019 we had a good season. 2020 we moved to the Hyundai. It was the first year of a new car, and it was COVID, and we never really had a full crack at it. 2021 was much better, but the Hyundai was still in sort of a development phase. And then for 22, we sort of got pushed to the side a little bit, and we weren't in the car. So, yeah, I sort of felt like 2022 would have been a year where we probably would have been closer, to running consistently at the front of the championship. But yeah, we're back again. I'm back with a new team by name, but not necessarily a new team by people. The guys who we're doing it with are. They have done it before, they've done it for a long time. We've got a lot of experienced people on board with the team. The Cupra showed flashes of pace at points last year. I think it lacked a little bit of consistency. If we can sort of sharpen up the areas where we think it's lacking in, and it's obviously going to take me probably a little bit of time to adapt to the hybrid and just fully get in the way back into the BTCC again. But yeah, it's something that shouldn't take us a long time to get ourselves back, to where we should be. But yeah, we're really excited. It's great to be back. Whenever you've done it for so long and you're sitting at home watching it on TV, it sort of eats you up inside every time you watch it. So yeah, to be back and to be back at the Autosport show again, and people saying it's good to see you back. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Come the start of the season, we don't know how the grid's going to pan out. Obviously, at this show, the rumour mill runs, and there's still drivers who have yet to confirm whether they've got a seat or not. Potentially, we might see a slightly smaller BTCC grid this year. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, do you think?
Listen, I think in any championship, anything over 20 cars is a bonus, and not to make little of anyone, but normally the same people are at the front, and normally the people who make the championship count are always there. So the last time I was here there was 32 cars and it was a full capacity grid. This year it's looking like it's going to be somewhere around 27 or so. We're not 100% sure at this point in time exactly what's going on, but yeah, I think the championship still commercially and marketing wise and social media and TV and all the things associated with it, I still think it's the best thing in the UK, if not one of the best touring car championships in the world for what it has. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Ben Taylor yesterday, and I spoke to Scott, your teammate, who's coming into the series wide-eyed and with a huge grin on his face. Particularly in relation to Scott, you're going to probably have to do some mentoring with him, aren't you?
Yeah, it's not that long ago. I remember pulling out of the end of the pit lane in an old Toyota Avensis that wasn't particularly good. And Matt Neal went past me in one of the Halfords Hondas, and you sort of think about it in your head about what way are these drivers going to be and how fast are they. Matt went past me and I says, that's impressive. And it's only until you see one of the top line drivers in a works car or a front running car, whenever you're new to the series, that you realise how big of a learning curve this is. Whenever you watch it on the TV, yeah, the cars are going around the circuit, but you don't just appreciate how much on the limit the cars are being driven to, and the high quality of driving that's involved within the series. And it's only when you go away for a while and you come back that you see that the level is so high. You could be battling a works BMW for 15th place, and that's the BTCC for you. So you've all different types of drivers who have all came from all different types of championships. Front-wheel drive cars, rear-wheel drive cars, GT cars, Formula cars, and you all put them in the same grid of all these cars that look like road-going cars, and the recipe still is excitement to make the racing good. But yeah, Scott's a lovely kid. He raced alongside me last year in the TCR car, and one thing about Scott is he listens. He's a good listener, and yeah, anything Scott done last year and asked him to do, he took it under his wing. So yeah, I think Scott's is going to have a learning curve within the championship, But Scott's a dedicated guy, and I think once he gets his head around it, and he understands how the championship works and the perks and the different things you do to make these cars work, I think Scott will surprise a few people.
Yeah, but Cupra is relatively new to the British Touring Car Championship, but last season we saw some of its potential, and there's still a lot to come from that piece of kit, isn't there?
Yeah, people talk about the brand of the car, the Cupra, but really all of these cars are a body shell that represents the shape of a car, and they're a box of bits that are put together, and it's how that box of bits is put together and how it's engineered that makes the difference. The brand of the car is really a material. It's it's like a mixture. It's a mixture of engineering and a little bit here, a little bit there, and that's what makes these cars work. The Cupra last year on occasions was good. Bobby had it on the podium a few times. He's running in the top 10. Some very impressive results, and for sure this car has as good a chance as any of the rest of them has if we can get everything all pointing in the right direction.
You touched on an interesting point there. Is that sort of the fundamental difference perhaps between TCR and the BTCC? Is that the TCR is a road-going car turned into a race car, whereas BTCC is a race car built to look like a road car?
Yeah, the BTCC car, they're a unique animal. They've got the pushrod suspension. They've got the old style sequential gearbox. In some ways they're agricultural, and in other ways they are, cutting edge with the hybrid technology. And so I think Alan has got the formula really, really good. That he gets all the cars to within such a close proximity of times. You look at the TCR cars are close, but it's done on a balance of performance. So it's not the same as comparing. It's not the same. The cars in this are technically all the same. Some are front wheel drive and some are rear wheel drive. Some spend a little bit more in the budget and some spend a little bit less, but technically all the cars are very, very close. It's, as I said to you earlier, it's you get everything all pointing in the right direction, and a good engineer and someone who knows how to drive it, it's never normally far away.
Absolutely. You say you've got to drop back in and get used to BTCC again and get used to the hybrid. In your mind, what have you set as a sort of line in the sand and expectation for the first half of the season?
It's what have we set? We don't really have any expectations. It's hard to stand here on the 12th of January and say, we're obviously everybody wants to win, but I'm not stupid. I'm under no illusion of how tough this championship is. I think if we can get ourselves a good little bit of pre-season testing, get ourselves with a setup that we think is somewhere good to start from, that will give us a platform to build on. Obviously, the top 10 is where you have to be aiming for. And I think any of the top guys are aiming for the top 10, and there's some weekends where they may put themselves in a position where they're aiming for the top 5. And I think it's hard to sort of predict it any other way out of that, because it is so close. You could be in pole position, but I could be in sixth place, a tenth and a half off pole. So, it's so close. It's all about consistency. It's about working with people who you've worked with for a long time, who know what you need to get out of a car. And I'm very fortunate that Ben and Bert Taylor have stuck with me for the last 7 or 8 seasons now, and they know me inside out. Everybody has their flaws, and everybody knows how to work with each other. So, I think sort of. We're determined that we're back in again now, and I think that we're determined now to prove that we can still do it. We've done it before. We've had good weekends before, and we've had good results before, and there's no reason now why we can't replicate that again. But to predict where we're going to be at the start of the season is very, very hard.
Whatever happens, it's really good to see you back. Good to see you at the show here as well, Chris. Have a great season.
Thank you very, very much.